Hey everybody, welcome to Is This Thing Working? Episode 116. Here it is, Wednesday, May 15th. How you doing, Denise?
I'm doing great. I'm glad you said the date. Because every morning I ask him, hey, what's the date? I can't keep up with the dates, I guess.
Right.
I'm all worried about the episodes. Make sure I don't miss one or do it twice. You know, that's important. But I am doing awesome today on this Wednesday. It's sunshiny here in East Texas. We need the sunshine. We need to dry out because we're supposed to have storms again Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
I believe.
Up until that afternoon but they say the weekend's nice and we're going to go camping this weekend. It's going to be cool.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was bummed out at the start of the week, but hey, the weather's turned, so
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. We don't know if we should be down at the lake if we're if we're flooding, right? So I'm glad it's not flooding.
Right.
Because I was kind of worried about that with all the rivers being high and everything. You know, the lakes are too.
Just camp out on top of the picnic table.
Yeah, that's probably what we'll be doing. No, we're not going to do that. But we're not going to camp on the ground either because that would just be painful, right?
For my old
Back of
self,
our
it
truck
would be,
and
yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a different experience for us because we've always used tents and, camped on the ground. But now we're going to glamp is what we're calling it.
Yeah.
And we're going to get one of those tents that goes in the back of the truck and then lay on a mattress. That sounds so interesting. Why didn't they come up with this years ago?
And we got electricity and all, so
yeah. So it's going to be fun.
So we're basically
excited.
we're basically just having a picnic and sleeping outside. That's about it. Yeah.
And can you believe that we get excited about going camping? It's because we don't ever do it. I'm ready to go all day Saturday, catch fish, and on Sunday have a big old fish fry. That would be so fun. But we're going to get on with the show. Today, we're going to talk about the shadow government, which is being exposed by brave journalists who the mainstream media won't even talk about. So today, we are going to bring you more information on these government helpers, or better known as NGOs, non-government agencies, or organizations, non-government organizations.
Let's welcome our sponsor today, introducing Coffee Bros, where passion meets perfection in every cup. Our journey began with a simple vision to craft the finest coffee experience for every coffee lover. From bean to brew, we meticulously select the highest quality beans from around the world, ensuring every sip is a symphony of flavor. Whether you crave the bold intensity of a dark roast or the smooth elegance of the light roast, we have something to tantalize every palate. So join Coffee Bros family and elevate your coffee experience to new heights. Whether you're starting your day or taking a moment to unwind, let us awaken your senses with the perfect cup of coffee. Taste the difference with Coffee Bros, where every sip tells a story of passion, quality, and excellence. And you can find them at coffeebros.com.
Make sure you click the link below and have a cup of coffee of Coffee Brothers with us today.
All right, before we start the show today, we want to state these are our opinions and our assertions. And if you agree with us, tell your friends and share the show. If you don't agree with us, tell your friends and share the show because we want to hear opposing viewpoints. We might learn something from you, but we're hoping that you'll be an open mind and take our viewpoints in and learn from us too. Because at the end of the day, and we hadn't said this in the past couple of days, our mission at the end of each show is so that you can become more informed and become more engaged.
That's exactly right. And make sure you stomp on the like button. Stomp it real hard and subscribe wherever you see the name. Is This Thing Working? You help us further our reach when you share the show. And thank you very much. I would have to say our podcast listeners have grown. Our audience has grown.
Yes.
We have been looking at our numbers at the end of April, and we are on record to beat even April. So we are so excited, and we thank you so much for tuning in.
Yep.
We really do. You're part of our family now.
Yep. And a special shout out to the Getter crowd, man.
Yes.
We got a consistent group of listeners every single day. Join in with them, man. It's awesome.
Please do. And join us in the live chat. We put our show out live every day at 2 p.m. Monday through Friday on Rumble, and we stream it on X, Rumble, and Getter. But we are sitting there ready for live chat. So eventually we will go live. We're just learning how to do it all. We're learning it on the fly as we go. And if anybody out there wants to give us pointers about any of it and help us out and teach us how to do some of this stuff, because we are all learning on the fly. Let me tell you, it's been fun though. We enjoy our day every single day. But first of all, we are going to start with Trump Watch. He is off today. He doesn't have to go to court on Wednesdays, which is great. Gives him a day off, and I'm pretty sure he's doing some campaigning. He's already been on Truth Social, already talking to everybody. But we're going to recap what happened yesterday in the Cohen
testimony. Yeah.
So we have 4 big takeaways from day 17 of Trump's hush money trial. I'm getting my information from ABC News. So one of the takeaways is the defense questions Cohen's motivations.
Yeah, so Todd Blanche began an aggressive cross-examination to highlight some of Michael Cohen's alleged obsession with Trump. Cohen acknowledged that he often references Trump during media appearances and has made at least $3.4 million from his 2 books about Trump, as Blanche pushed the suggestion that Cohen has made a living since 2018 profiting from President Trump. Blanche homed in on Cohen's use of TikTok, referring to ABC News' initial coverage in his questioning. Blanche asked him, "You are also hoping to make money on that?" Cohen said, "I do make money on that, but it's not significant." Blanche also began to highlight Cohen's past praise and admiration for Trump. He goes, "You're actually obsessed with President Trump?" Blanche asked, pursuing a line of inquiry that he drew attention to the defense's opening statement.
Then Cohen says, "I don't know that I would characterize it as obsessed," Cohen says. "I can't recall using that word, but I can't say it would be wrong." So he pretty much admits that he's been obsessed with President Trump. He said, "That's how I felt."
Because he was making money off of him.
Of course he was.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, and he liked being in Trump's inner circle, I'm pretty sure. And then the second takeaway here is Cohen recounts White House meeting. Cohen recounted a February 2017 meeting with Trump at the White House where prosecutors alleged Trump personally discussed the repayment arrangement for the hush money Cohen had paid to Stormy Daniels. He said, "So, I was sitting with President Trump and asked me if I was okay. He asked me if I needed money, and I said, no, all good. He said, I can get a check. I said, no, I'm okay." Cohen recounted of the conversation, of course. This is the conversation he's having with Trump. So he said, all right, just make sure you deal with Allen. So Trump was telling him to talk to the guy, the CFO of Trump's then organization, Alan Weisselberg, if y'all remember who he is. He's the one that I believe is in jail right now for campaign violations as well. Then the third one is Cohen describes Trump's pressure campaign.
Yeah, Cohen told the jurors that President Trump orchestrated a pressure campaign in 2018 to prevent his cooperation with federal investigators. "Mr. Trump did not want me to cooperate with the government, certainly not to provide information or flip." And jurors also saw a series of emails between Cohen and attorney Robert Costello, who told Cohen his representation, in quotes, "would be a great way to have a back channel of communication to the president in order to ensure you're still good and still secure." So the whole time that he's going to stab him in the back, they're promoting the fact that he needs to stay in there so that he can continue on, man.
Yeah, and then he goes on and he tells him,
bastard.
he said, "Sleep well tonight. You have friends in high places." Then the fourth one is Cohen tells jurors why he flipped. And what he says is, my family, my wife, my daughter, my son, all said to me, "Why are you holding on to this loyalty? What are you doing? We're supposed to be your first loyalty," Cohen testified. The prosecutor, Susan Hoffinger, says, So what decision did you make?" "That it was about time to listen to them," Cohen said, "to my wife, my son, my daughter, to the country." He didn't give a crap about the country. And then he goes on to testify that he pled guilty to federal charges in 2018. "I would not lie for President Trump any longer." While Cohen said he had some great times working for the Trump organization, he testified that he regretted many of the things he did on Trump's behalf. "I regret doing things for him that I should not have, lying, bullying people in order to effectuate a goal," Cohen said. "But to keep the loyalty and do things that he had asked me to do, I violated my moral compass, and I suffered the penalty, as has my family."
The most hilarious thing that he says was, I would not lie for President Trump any longer. Dude, that's you lied to save your own ass. And you didn't do it just once. You didn't do it just twice. You did it like 3 different times to 3 different bodies of people listening to you. Man, you went to jail over your own lies.
Yes. You're the one that pled guilty. I do believe that President Trump has pled not guilty.
Because he didn't do anything wrong. And any of his testimony about the payments and all of this, anything that he tries to pull, I keep referring back to the Stormy Daniels letter in 2018, where even she said, President Trump didn't have anything to do with this, and I didn't have anything to do with this.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
You know, and another thing that really gets me on this, and I continue to ask the same question over and over. What is the crime?
Yep. What's the crime?
He's testifying about conversations he had with President Trump. Having a conversation is not a crime. Talking to someone is not a crime. Saying something that people don't like is not a crime.
Yeah.
You know what? Cheating on your wife is not a crime. Even if it was true, it's not a crime. Where is the crime? They keep saying this is a campaign violation, which is what the Democrats love to go after people for. Just like they went after Alan Weisselberg, just like they went after Cohen when he did plead guilty to federal charges in 2018. Then the intelligence agency or the government, whoever goes in there and makes a deal with him to get him out so that he would turn on Trump. No, dude, you are a liar.
Exactly.
So no one believes you.
Our sponsor of the day is Pure Hemp Botanicals. Discover the power of nature with Pure Hemp Botanicals. Our premium hemp-derived products are crafted with care to deliver the highest quality CBD experience. From soothing balms to flavorful tinctures, we offer a wide range of products to suit your needs. With a commitment to sustainability and purity, our products are third-party tested to ensure potency and consistency. Whether you're seeking relief from stress, pain, or simply looking to enhance your wellness routine, Pure Hemp Botanicals has something for you. Join the thousands of satisfied customers who trust Pure Hemp Botanicals for their CBD needs. Experience the natural difference today, and you can find them at www.purehempbotanicals.com.
Nonprofits are making billions off this border crisis. It's turned out that federal funding has turned the business of resettling migrant children into a gold mine for a handful of NGOs and their top executives. We have been discussing NGOs now for months, at least one show a week. We went back and we looked and we were checking it out and got some information, from back then to remind you and everything. But we have been pushing and pushing these nonprofit, they call them nonprofits. No, they are non-government organizations.
And the reason we've been pushing these NGOs is the fact that we wanted to let you see that what they call the NGOs and what they market them and dress them up as is not what they're actually doing. Remember, we've talked about the Laura Loomer reporting on the Darien Gap when she began to expose what the HIAS, which is the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, she began to expose what they're actually doing, which was bringing these people to there, giving them resources, roadmaps, communications, and also the means to get them registered to vote. We've learned about them, RCM, which was Resource Center Matamoros, the Annunciation House that we've talked about with Ken Paxton and the suit that he has against them.
Yeah, because they won't give him information.
The information that he needs.
Yes.
Yes. So we've talked about Annunciation House, Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, the Resource Center Matamoros. Today we're going to talk about 4 others, and we're going to go through them real quick just so you can see. We're going to talk about Global Refuge, Southwest Key Programs, Endeavors, and last but not least, the American Red Cross.
That's right. And these organizations have seen their combined revenue grow from $597 million in 2019 to an astonishing $2 billion by 2022, the last year of which federal disclosure documents are available. And the CEOs of all 3 of these nonprofits, now We're going to delve into that too because this is so important. They reap more than $500,000 each in annual compensation, with one of them, the chief executive of Southwest Key, making more than $1 million. I'm getting my information from the Free Press. I want to hat tip them. I'm pretty sure, I hope that you have been hearing all about this all over the place. This is so important. We're going to go into endeavors.
Yeah, some of the services NGOs provide are eyebrow raising. And this is for an example. Endeavors uses taxpayer fund to offer migrant children pet therapy and horticultural therapy and music therapy. In 2021 alone, Endeavors paid Christy Merrill, a music therapist now, $533,000. An internal Endeavors PowerPoint obtained by America First Legal, which is an outfit funded by former Trump aide Stephen Miller, it showed that the nonprofit conducted 1,656 people-plant interactions and 287 pet therapy sessions between April 2021 and March 2023.
Wow.
What is exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Pet therapy, horticulture therapy, and music therapy is what they're spending your taxpayer money on.
To offer to migrant children.
Yes.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Honestly, that is what they're doing.
And another point to remember is the statistics and the numbers that we are seeing are only updated to 2022. The number of the growth of these companies in money, dollar amounts has doubled and tripled. But all we're seeing is from those years right there.
Yeah, and it's even high then in 2022. Right. Imagine how much it is now.
That was going to be my point with that. Just imagine if they're letting you see this much, imagine what they're hiding the past couple of years. And we've seen our borders stay wide open. You know, them jokers are.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and this is going to, Endeavors in 2022 federal disclosure form also shows that it paid $5 million to a company to provide fill-in doctors and nurses, $4.6 million for consulting services, and that's in quotes, whatever that is, $1.4 million to attend conferences, and $7,000 on lobbyists. In 2021, the NGO shelled out $8 million to hotel management company Esperado Developments to house migrants in their hotels. Endeavors, which gets 99.6% of its revenue from the government, according to federal disclosure forms, declined to comment to the Free Press. 99.6% of its revenue comes from you folks. You are paying for the open border right now.
How? Through the new foreign aid bill that was passed. $3.5 billion was allocated to these people in that bill.
Yes, and we talked about this too just last week. And I'm going to remind you, this $3.5 billion was granted to the Department of State, which works with many international groups that feed and transport migrants on their way to the United States. Biden's deputies are now using the refugee program as an adjunct to their diversity expanded equity migration policy. For example, Biden's deputies used the program in March to import 3,009 migrants from the safe and domestic countries of El Salvador and Guatemala. They are also using the refugee funds to expand migration routes from many of African and Muslim countries. In March, they pulled in 12,018 people from the Congo, plus 16,732 migrants from the Muslim countries of Afghanistan, Syria, Pakistan, Iraq, according to a report by Stacker.com. This is what is going on behind our backs.
33,000, roughly 33,000 in one month.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not just that. The Administration for Children and Families, a division of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, funds the nonprofits through its Office of Refugee Resettlement, and its budget has swelled over the years from $1.8 billion in 2018 to $6.3 billion in 2023. The ORR is expected to spend at least $7.3 billion this year almost all of which will be funneled to the NGOs and other contractors. My question here is, we've told you about the bill that is in the foreign aid bill. The $3.5 billion is in there. This is more than that particular bill that we're talking about, that little line in there that's funding these NGOs. But also, there must be more. And what they're doing is they're hiding it under these departments like Human Health and Services, the Department of State. So they're getting all these money also to help with these NGOs, plus this $3.5 billion.
Right. The Department of State is the one that has the
$3.5 billion.
Right. And they're the ones that have the means to allocate it. And they're the ones allocating it throughout all these different NGOs and other bureaucratic agencies. Correct? Is that what we're doing? Yeah. Okay.
I think so. That's what's going on.
Yeah. And consider Global Refuge, based in Baltimore, Maryland. In 2018, Global Refuge, according to its federal disclosure form, they had a $50 million in revenue. That's in 2018. By 2022, the revenue totaled $207 million, $180 million of it which came from the government. That year, $82 million was spent on housing unaccompanied children. Global Refuge also granted $45 million to an organization that facilitates adoptions as well as resettling migrant children. Global Refuge has grown also. They did employ 550 people nationwide, and their CEO said in January that the nonprofit plans to expand to at least 700 staffers by the end of 2024.
You know, those job growth numbers that's been coming out, and they've been saying, wow, our numbers are way high. We've been growing jobs all over the place. Well, guess what? Government jobs. We can call this a non-government organization, and no, it's not a government job, but the government is paying them. Well, these are now government
they're going to consider them probably around the same status as they would the U.S. Post Office, because carriers, we're not, especially the rural carriers, we were part of the federal government employees, but we were not part of the federal government, if that made sense.
That does make sense. This Global Refuge, they housed 2,591 unaccompanied children while spending $30 million. 3 years later, the NGO reported that it housed 1,443 unaccompanied children at a cost of $82.5 million, almost half the number of migrants for more than double the money.
Yeah.
And so what are they doing with that money?
And here's another good point to bring out with a lot of this, that the CEO here of Global Refuge, she was a former policy director for Michelle Obama when Michelle was First Lady. So she was also a former policy director for Michelle Obama, and she took the top job at Global Refuge in February of 2019 after she lost her bid to be elected governor of Maryland. She has since become one of the most prominent advocates for migrants crossing the southern border and appearing frequently on MSNBC and other media as an immigration advocate. Her income and salary the first year she was there was $244,000 a year. But just 3 years later, her compensation more than doubled to $520,000.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing. But in a statement to the Free Press, Global Refuge spokesperson Timothy Young said that while in care, unaccompanied children attend 6 hours of daily education and participate in recreational activities both at the education site and within the community.
And then you've got Southwest Key Programs, who's headquartered in Austin in 2021. And the CEO of Southwest Key Programs is Dr. Anselmo Villarreal. He draws a $1 million salary also. And despite a number of scandals in the recent past, including misuse of federal funds and several instances of employees sexually abusing some of the children in its care, Southwest Key continues to operate and rake in big government checks. In 2020, the year of COVID-19, its government grant was $391 million. By 2022, its contract was nearly $790 million. So in 3 years, these people have doubled their size too. That's what we talk about the shadow government, and we talk about replacement theory, and we talk about all these things that are happening and how that these migrants, when they cross the border, they've already got or they're given access to voter registration numbers.
Yes, we've mentioned
and
that.
They're taking them and they're shipping them where? To the blue cities everywhere.
Yes, so they can vote. They're also shipping them to the red cities too, to red cities everywhere because they want them. They want every state a blue state. They're going to do everything they can to cheat their way through Texas, through Florida, through all of the real red states. And Arizona is the one state that they're doing it the most. And that is the state that they will actually cheat totally. Poor Arizonans. I mean, they need to do something about those people over there, man.
Right.
They're corrupt.
Yeah, it's a mess over there in Arizona. It sure is. And the last one that we want to talk about is one that will ring a bell with most people if you're not ever really paying attention to what NGOs are and this kind of thing. The last one we're going to talk about is the American Red Cross. All of this that's going on, we want you to understand, like we said, on the outside, it's dressed up as humanitarian aid. On the outside, it's dressed up as helping and facilitating certain social services and these kind of things. But, guys, this is nothing but a money laundering, money-making operation that our government is involved in. And when we say our government, I don't mean just the Democrats. I mean the government, the uniparty.
The shadow government.
All the bureaucracies.
Is who is running the government.
All the different three-letter bureaucracies. And if we talk about the American Red Cross, thanks to reporting from the Daily Caller, we know that the Red Cross has guides for U.S.-bound migrants that include a map to the border, resources along the journey, and a paper on what to do when encountering the dangers along the journey. The American Red Cross sits on FEMA's Food and Shelter Program Board, which financially supports illegal immigrants to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars while they await court dates. So the Red Cross uses these funds to fuel the immigration crisis while encouraging more illegal immigration and apparent conflict of interest. If they receive hundreds of millions to support illegal immigration, why wouldn't they funnel more illegals into the country? And so they do.
Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.